Welcome back to All Esteem, where we search for that hidden manna, those pearly gates. I'm your host, Dottie, on the mic. Seeker. I know that all of us are longing for peace. We're hoping that all the turmoil, all the enslavement, all the bondage, all the murder, all the lies, all the theft, all the sin will be taken away. The Most High tells us that there's only one way to achieve peace for ourselves, for the world, and that's by walking in the way. Now, yes, that includes doing what is right. It's doing what is right. We're going to read Deuteronomy chapter 16, which lays out the feast days. The feast, keeping the feast, is doing what is right. And it's the only source of peace there is. It's the only thing we can do to achieve peace, because it's doing what is right. It's walking in the way. Right here, Isaiah 48, chapter 17 says, I am Yahuwah, your mighty Most High, teaching you what is best, leading you by the way you should go. If only you had listened to my commands, then your peace would have been like a river and your righteousness like the waves of the sea. Now, I'm gonna try not to talk too much anymore, or at least for right now, about the image, because I'm sure you've noticed the crackdown that's occurring right now in this country and around the world. But it's a tough one, because I'm in the house. I'm here doing what the Most High is asking you to do, and that's return to the house on the feast days. The all the proof that you need that will prove to you that the house is in Utah is in a lot of my prior videos. So if you've just tuned in, you're not subscribed to this channel, and you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to be able to talk a lot about that right now. Because I think the Most High wants me to kind of keep that chill for the time being, because of Trump and these the things that they're doing in this country right now. And I don't even want to speak too much about that. And I don't advise that you do either. But like I said, you can go back through my past videos and I've laid out plenty, a wealth of revelation regarding where the house is, who the image of the bee is, and you should have no trouble. Now, I do want to say this. I'm not the best at doing this. I've long said that I'm the worst at relaying a message. I'm 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 not a charismatic leader, and if you're expecting to find some charismatic leader to lead you through the wilderness, it's not gonna happen. The Most High says He's gonna draw us one by one. That there's no saving the world. You can't, like I said in the last video, you can't put this fire out, my friend. The only thing you can do is find peace. And the only peace there is to do what the Most High wants you to do. I will go right now and show you the the faces on this map in case you've just tuned in and you're unaware of the faces. The Most High, He put His there's Mount Zion right there. I zoomed right into it for you. He put His stamp on this land, and I'm going to try my best to show it to you. But you can see right here the Most High, the first face the Most High showed me was this face right here. Can you see that? Let me zoom in a little better. See that face? I believe that this is where Yasharal, this is the land of Yasharal. And that's just a theory. I don't know that for sure, but I do know that this all of this land is the land. I know it for a fact, and you cannot prove me wrong. You can try, and I hope you do. I encourage you. I encourage you to come try to prove me wrong. But this is the land right here. These are the borders. The Most High tells us that the great river is our eastern border. Well, the river that runs along the beard of this guy's face right here is the Rio Grande, which means great river. And you can see the man's face clear as can be, and he has Yellowstone as a jewel in his crown right in the middle of his forehead right there. Boom. His left eye is kind of closed. It's closed, but and I don't have the answers to everything, but you can clearly see these faces. It's perfect. And right in front of his mouth is Yerushalayim, right here at the lower pool, right here where Provo is. You see Provo? This is Yerushalayim. And even this is driving the demons mad, and I'm sure Satan is working to try to snuff what I'm saying out. This is not. They're not going to go down without a fight over this. But you can see right in front of his mouth. Oops, right in front. This is. Let me get that back on there. This is Jerusalem right here, right there, right by the lower pool that once was dead and now has been made alive. You can look it up. I put it on the videos where you can go to Wikipedia and find out that once was dead and now it's teeming with life. I'm right on it. I'm about 20 feet behind me right now is the edge of that lower pool, and there's fish jumping all day long. It's loaded with fish. It's a great place. But so right along his beard on the right side here is the Rio Grande. All the old maps, the Most High says in His Word that our western border, right here, is the Great Sea. It's called the Pacific now, right? But if you go, I've put plenty of old maps on my videos before that shows you that it was called the Great Sea. It's always been called the Great Sea up until about, I don't know, like 100 years ago, 200 years ago, something like that. Don't quote me on that because I'm not for sure. But before, at least for sure, before 200 years ago, on all the old maps, you can find it. It's called the Great Sea. And this is the key. This is what you need to understand. The Most High, He speaks in riddles and parables. This is all His word is a riddle. In the riddle, and the reason it's a riddle is because it takes care. You have to care about this to understand all this. And you have to want Him to pour His spirit of truth out onto you. And when if he does do that to you, you'll see in his word that the riddle has been telling us that the land would be in confusion and that they would establish the image of the beast in the end times to destroy everyone. So once you understand that and you start looking at this map to see if this is true, the stiff neck, they're not going to do it. They're not gonna look at this map. They're not gonna see those faces. And if they do, they're gonna I've had people tell me that they're demonic. How is it demonic? Look, how is it demonic that the Most High put mountains? These are all mountains and stuff that make up these faces. Uh one day I was just scrolling through YouTube one day, and there was a video where a man in the title of the video he was saying something like, I can't figure out why all the Wasatch Mountains, which are right here, the front of his face, are the Wasatch Mountains, and no, and that word means mountains of safety, of salvation. He was saying, I can't figure out how all the Rockies are in line, but these mountains go east and west right here. It's called Kings Peak. Those mountains right there. And I just commented on the video. I said, that's because it's his nostrils. And I'm sure the guy thought, what the heck are you talking about? And I don't know if you ever seen it. I've tried to show this to so many people before, and they just can't see it because, and you can read that in the word. You probably know that the Most High, he says, he pours his spirit out onto whom he wants. And if he hasn't poured his spirit out onto you, you're not going to understand none of this stuff. And you have to. If you want peace, you're going to have to come in to the house. You're going to have to bring the first fruits into the storehouse. That means that you come and you partake of the feast days. You bring a gift, an offering of praise and esteem to Yahuwah. You come and you bow down to this mountain, to the Most High at this mountain. And this is Mount Zion. It's right here, and I've proven it. I have all the proof. And the only way you're not ever going to see this proof and it's never going to become true to you is if you've hardened your heart and stiffened your neck. Now we're going to read this. Before I do, this chapter 16 tells you all about the feast days and what you're supposed to do. We're going to read the whole chapter. But before we do, I know some of y'all, some of the Hebrew people are saying that Passover was is actually on the 26th of April. It starts on the 26th, is what they say. Now, I don't know that for sure. I don't know if that's true or false. I don't know. But I have a few things I would say about that. The the people in Israel, they say that it was on the 11th and the 12th, the last Shabbat, right? And the Most High says, we're going to read that here in this chapter, that from the first new moon of the year, you count 14 days, and that's the start of Passover. If you look up when the first new, if you just Google it, Google when the first new moon was, it tells you it was on the 29th of March. Now, do I know that's true? No, I don't. But there was a solar eclipse where the sun rose with wings, where it looked like it had wings on the 29th. And they're saying that that's the first new moon. So there's one hint, that one thing that makes me think that it was on the 29th. And back around 2017, 2018, the blood moons and the eclipses fell on days, on feast days that the Israelite people, the Israel people over there in the Middle East, they say those were the days. And so why would the blood moons fall on days? If we all know that they fell on the feast days, if Passover's on the 26th, that means that back then all those days were wrong, that the blood moons didn't land on the feast days. And you got to think about this. The enemy, he wants you in his house on the feast days to destroy you. So, and I'm pretty sure that the enemy knows which days is which. So I'm I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that it's whatever day, whatever feast day that the people over there in the false house, the prison house, tell you are the feast days. I'm gonna guess that those are correct because they want you to be there given the dragon esteem when you could be in the real house given the Most High all esteem. You see what I'm saying? And all those days where blood moons fell and like on Purim. So according to these people who say it's on the 26th, we had that blood moon that landed on the day of Purim back on the 13th of March. According to their belief that Passover's on the 26th, that would mean that that didn't land on the day of Purim, that it landed what, a week before Purim. And so I'm not buying that. And this is what you have to understand, regardless of whether I'm wrong about the days or I'm right about the days. The feast days are to be celebrated in the house. So it doesn't matter what day you think it is. We're not supposed to be celebrating the feast days anywhere other than the house. That's just how it is. We're supposed to come home now, and you're going to see that. It's a requirement that we come to the house. And especially now that the house has been revealed to us. It was hidden for a reason, for the Most High's purposes, but now it's been revealed. Now we must come home. So if you're not wanting to come home to the house on the feast days, it doesn't matter what day you think it is. None of that means nothing if you ain't willing to come and bow and bring the first fruits into the storehouse. So we're going to read this, chapter 16, and then I'm going to show you something in Luke chapter 14, verse 4, in light of the fact that yesterday was 414. It's the only day of the year where you get the numbers 144, where you get a 1 and 2 fours. Yesterday was 414, and that's the verse we're going to read. We're going to read Luke chapter 14, verse 4. And it's going to prove to you that the only peace that shall be achieved is when you come to the house, you do what's right, you wash your robes clean in this end time, and you know it's the end time. We don't have time to be playing games and debating with people about what day is which when we're not willing to come to the house to serve the Most High. We're in those times, and it's proven if you go to the Word, the Most High tells you that the house wouldn't be revealed until the end times, the latter days. So the house has been revealed to us now, and I've came home, and you need to come home. But the fact that it's been revealed to us that the identity of the image of the beast, the abomination that lays waste, has been revealed. The fact that that's happened is proof that we are in the latter days. And I shouldn't have to prove it to you. You already know that we're in the latter days. So the only thing left to do now is to come home. Verse 1, guard the new moon of Abib and perform the Passover to Yahuwah your mighty most high. For in the new moon of Abib, Yahuwah your mighty most high brought you out of Mitzrayim by night. And before I read it any further, don't take this as me claiming to be an expert on the feast days, because I'm not. I'm here to get it right. And I hope that that's why you're here too. We need to get this right. We need to converse back and forth. And because of that, I'm going to leave the comments on for this video, because this is something that we need to sharpen one another on. We need to sharpen each other on how to perform these feast days, what to do. But being here is priority numeral uno, top priority. So that should be you. Most people that are gonna, if anyone does comment on this video, they're not gonna talk about the fact that there's two big faces on the ground. They're not gonna talk about the fact that the whole Bible tells you that place over there in the Middle East is the image of the beast and why it's made. They're gonna ignore all those facts and just jump right to condemnation and ridicule of me because I don't know exactly how to keep the feast. So, and if comments like that pop up, don't hold it against me for deleting them, because I don't want none of that. I'm not going to debate with the fiddles and argue with the fiddles anymore. I'm here to get it right and bow my face to Abba Yahuwah, the Most High. And that's it. So I hope that you're someone of reason that would like to come reason with me about these things, and not uh, look down your nose and be full of pride and boast and be a boastful, haughty person like we see in the White House right now. That's who we're dealing with. We're dealing with Satan unleashed. That's what's going on right now. So we are going to have to be uh, wise about how we do things, for sure. And you shall slaughter the Passah, the Passover lamb, to Yahuwah your mighty most high from the flock and the herd, in the place where Yahuwah chooses to put his name. Eat no leavened bread with it. For 7 days you eat unleavened bread with it, bread of affliction, because you came out of the land of Mitzrayim in haste. So that you remember the day in which you come out of the land of Mitzrayim all the days of your life. And we're to eat this bread of affliction because anywhere other than being here in the land, we are afflicted. We're enslaved and in bondage. The Most High wants to release you from all that. He wants to set you free and bring you out of the prison house. And if you don't come and bow yourself to the Most High, you are enslaved. That's the bottom line. So it doesn't matter if if you're rejoicing out there anywhere but here, you are enslaved. So the whole point of them putting the blood on the door, coming out of Mitzrayim, all the stuff that's happened has been to get us to this point that we are right now, to reveal the house to us, so that we pick up our stake, we follow after Messiah's lead. He showed us the way back to the house. Now it's up to each and every one of us to pick up our stakes and do this deal for real. Okay? So we don't want to be like the hypocrites out here just putting on a show, a facade, so that the world thinks we are something that we are actually not. If we can't come to the house and do what the Most High requires, we're not who we say we are. We're frauds. And no leaven should be seen within you in all your border for 7 days, neither should any of the meat which you slaughter in the evening on the first day, stay all night until morning. And I want to ask you this. I don't know. I forgot. I cleaned the bread out of my house here, but I forgot a package of yeast that I made wine. I used to make wine for Passover. I don't know. Is that leaven? I don't know. See, I'm not an expert. So if you do know, please put in the comments whether that is or not. And so I'll go throw it away. I'm saving it so I can, which it ain't much. I can just go buy another pack, I guess. I'm not worried about it, but I didn't think that that would be leaven, but maybe it is. I don't know. Please do give me your feedback on that. I don't know. I'll go throw it away if it is. But I was saving it so I can make more wine in the future. And no leaven should be seen within you in all your border for 7 days. Neither any of the meat which you slaughtered in the evening on the first day stay all night until morning. You are not allowed to slaughter the Passah within any of your gates which Yahuwah your Most High gives you, but at the place where Yahuwah your Most High chooses to make his name dwell. There you slaughter the Passah in the evening, at the going down of the sun, at the appointed time you came out of Mitzrayim. You shall roast and eat it in the place which Yahuwah your Most High chooses you. And that reminds me, the reason, the whole reason that the Messiah washed uh, the disciples' feet, the whole reason of washing our feet is it's symbolic of bringing you here to the real house, washing your feet. It's the reason that the Most High told the serpent in the beginning that he would bruise our heels. He was letting us know, that was riddle, code speak, letting us know that in the end the enemy would confuse us about where our house is, and that washing our feet would be us walking in the truth, walking back to the true house and understanding that that's where the peace is. And you shall roast and eat it in the place which Yahuwah your Most High chooses. And this is the place that he chose. And like I said, I've got all the proof. I'm not going to put it on here now, but you can go back to my videos. Don't expect to get on there and hear some charismatic preacher that you're used to, because I'm epic. I'm not good at relaying these messages. But the Most High brought me here for a purpose. Obviously, I have had the courage to do this, to speak up against all these things, and to come looking for this. So that's all I got going for me is my willingness to do this. I don't have all the tools that most of your pastor's favorite pastors have. I'm not going to be you're not going to find that in me. And you shouldn't be looking for that anyways, because the Most High has already gave us the blueprint. He's laid the groundwork here for us. All we have to do is follow it, follow his voice, do what the Messiah did. Even the disciples, when you're reading like Acts and stuff, they made plans around being at the house. Like they wouldn't go to somewhere if it was going to impede them being at the house on the feast days. This should be everything to us. And until we do that, there will be no peace for anyone. You're not going to find peace out there in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Houston, Texas, Madison, Wisconsin. It doesn't matter where you are. If you can't come to the house, you're going to be judged just like the rest of the world. And think about how the administration right now is doing all that he's doing with immigration right now. The Most High, he tells us he's going to bring us back from the lands of the east, the north, all over the place. So don't think that that's part of the enemy's reasoning for taking asylum seekers and putting them in a gulag in El Salvador right now. I mean, it should be so obvious what's going on to a truth seeker. Now, to these people that have bronze foreheads, it's never going to be clear to them what's happening. But to you, truth seeker, you must see what's happening and come out of it now. And you shall roast it and eat it in the place which Yahuwah your mighty Most High chooses. And in the morning you shall turn and go to your tents. 6 days you eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day there is a closing festival to Yahuwah your mighty Most High. You do no work on that day. So what I'm thinking is, because I've been tossing this around, I've been wondering myself, am I supposed to be working in between? Is it okay if I go to work in between, like this week that we're in? Today's the 15th, because the way I read that is that we're to do no work on Shabbat, on the Shabbat of Passover, and then the coming Shabbat, which we don't work on Shabbat anyway. But I think I've been told before that like that whole week you're to not do any work. If you have the insight and the knowledge of that, please put it in the comments. Count 7 weeks for yourself from this Shabbat coming up, from the Shabbat after Passover. You're to count 7 weeks for yourself. Begin to count 7 weeks from the time you begin to put the sickle to the grain. And you shall perform the festival of Shebaot, which is the festival of weeks, to Yahuwah your mighty Most High, according to the voluntary offering from your hand which you give, as Yahuwah your Most High blesses you. And you shall rejoice before Yahuwah your mighty Most High, you and your son and your daughter and your male servant and your female servant and the Levite who is within your gates, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow who are in your midst, at the place where Yahuwah your Most High chooses to make his name dwell. So this, over and over, you're going to see this in the scripture. These festivals are to be performed at the house in Jerusalem, Mount Zion. And you shall remember that you were a slave in Mitzrayim, and you shall guard and do these laws. And I really don't want to be calling Mitzrayim Egypt anymore, because that's part of the confusion. That place in the Middle East, yeah, that's Egypt. But this place here in America and Mexico, that was Mitzrayim. That's where the Pharaohs was. That's where Moses and them were held in captivity, where Joseph was imprisoned. All that stuff. That this is the land. And like I said, I've laid out more proof than you need that can prove that to you. And if you just go look for yourself, which you need to do, you're going to see that that's the case. And you're going to see, when you start to see that, when you hunger for the truth, and the Most High pours out his spirit of truth on you, you're going to see that the whole word's been telling you this the whole time, that in the end, everyone would think it was in another place, and it would be the abomination set up where it ought not be. And then if you go read, like we've read from Albert Pike's book, Morals and Dogma, how that was their plan the whole time, to do that, to set up that state in Palestine in order to confuse everyone and trick everyone. It's a trick. It's a magician's trick. And you shall remember that you were a slave at Mitzrayim, and you shall guard and do these laws. And until you come to the house and do these things, you're going to be a slave. You'll remain a slave. It might not feel that way right now. You might have, your 401k might be peaking today, but you're still a slave. You will find no peace. From the festival of Sukkot, for 7 days, and the ingathering from your threshing floor and from your winepress. And you shall, and before I go any further, I wanted to, Messiah, he in riddle and parable, he explains that there would be an image of the beast in the end. This is why he says there'll be 2 women. The women are Jerusalem. He said there'll be 2 women at the millstone. The millstone is the threshing floor, the wine press. There'd be 2 women at the millstone, one taken, one left. So he's letting you, the Messiah lets you know that that's what it would be. And the reason he said that it would be just like the days of Noah, most people that you see on YouTube, they're talking about when they bring up that phrase, they're talking about Nephilim and stuff, which I'm not going to debate whether that's true or not. But the reason the Messiah said it would be just like the days of Noah is the reason for that is explained in what he said after that. He said they were drinking, eating, giving one another in marriage, meaning they were out having festivals in Chattanooga, Tennessee, wherever they want. They were worried about getting married. They were more worried about building a house here and a house there and going on vacations and doing all this. But getting to the ark, knowing that the flood's coming, was the last thing on anyone's mind. And the flood came, and the door was shut, and it was too late. That's why he says, just like the days of Noah, you're getting, you've been getting that. You know that the flood's coming, that the fire is coming. You know this. So the only thing you can do to survive is to get to the ark. This is why in Revelations it says a door was open and they could see the ark, not the ark of the covenant, the ark, just like the ark of Noah, the ark in which you shall be saved. Your salvation is found. And that's in Mount Zion, Yerushalayim, the wife of our youth, the woman, the place the Most High chose to dwell, to place his name. Perform the festival of Sukkot for 7 days after the ingathering from your threshing floor and from your winepress, and you shall rejoice in your festival, you and your son, your daughter, your male servant, and your female servant, and the Levite and the stranger, the fatherless, the widow, who are within your gates. For 7 days you shall celebrate to Yahuwah your mighty most high in the place which Yahuwah chooses, because Yahuwah your mighty most high does bless you in all your increase and in all the works of your hands, and you shall be only rejoicing. This is why, too, he says, bless going in, bless going out, going into the house, to Jerusalem, to Mount Zion. And that's the only way you're going to be blessed. Having a bunch of money is not being blessed. That's cursed right now. Give to Caesar what's Caesar's. We use money for a tool. We don't count it as our blessing. Our blessing is peace, truth, righteousness, and life. Those things are equated. The Benjamin's baby, that's death. That's all that is. This is why the Messiah said it would be harder for a rich man to make it into the kingdom than for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle. The eye of the needle was a place on a trail where the it was a a trade route where people brought merchandise in and out of a place, and and they would have all their merchandise and their goods on the camel. They would have to take all their belongings, all their merchandise off of the camel, and the camel had to be trained to get down and crouch through the eye of the needle. So, and this is why the rich man, when the Messiah said, go sell all your belongings and follow after me, he went away crying, because a rich man, that's why I said that the Benjamins having all the money is death, because it's harder for you to give up all that stuff and come to the house, come bow yourself to the Most High when you've got the money, cars, and the clothes. Nobody, a rich man ain't going to want to take all his stuff off of his camel and pass through it. He's going to try to find another way, and he's going to fall off of that cliff and die. The only way to get here, to pass through the eye of the needle, is you have to shed all your material possessions. You have to be willing to give it all up for the Most High. Pick up your stake. 3 times a year, all your males appear before Yahuwah, your mighty Most High, in the place which he chooses, at the festival of Matzah. Now, this, you can see that this is a requirement of the males, but the females were here too. So don't take that as if you're a female, you don't have to come. If you don't want to enter the reign, you don't have to. But if you want to enter the reign, you got to enter the reign. At the festival of Matzah and the festival of Sebaot of weeks and the festival of Sukkot. So we are to be here in the house 3 times a year. This is why I always put this picture, this painting right here up, where I put my little face down there under the covering. I can't remember who painted that. It's a famous painter, and this is a famous painting. But he and all this secret has been revealed to more than just the word. It's everywhere. It's in uh, books and literature and movies and stories and songs, and it goes on. The whole world has been singing this truth, but the Most High had blinded us. Our eyes had been blinded, however that happened, for however long. But now our eyes are, we are seeing a great light has shined on his people, and you need to accept it and come home if you want this covering, this peace. And none shall appear before Yahuwah empty-handed. And you coming here, that's a gift too. That's you taking all your merchandise off of your camel and getting down on all fours, crawling through the ditches, taking hand grenades, whatever it takes. Your family's going to disown you. They're going to try to discourage you. They're going to lie to you. They're going to preach the man of lawlessness at you, the image of the beast. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose houses. All that stuff must be lost. You must shed all that stuff. And don't worry about how you'll get here or what you'll do when you get here. The Most High will take care of you. All you have to do is give Him that offering of your life. Lay down your life for Him. But each one with the gift of his hand, according to the blessing of Yahuwah, your mighty Most High, which He has given you. And this is a blessing. What a mighty blessing He has given us. Appoint judges and officers within all your gates, which Yahuwah your Most High is giving you according to your tribes, and they shall judge the people with righteous right ruling. Do not distort right ruling. Do not show partiality. Do not show partiality to the work of the man of lawlessness. It's a working of Satan. It's not one man. Don't expect the Antichrist figure. Although if there were one man as the Antichrist, I'm pretty sure you all know who that would be right now, don't you? But it ain't. It's the man of lawlessness. It's the lies about who the Messiah is and where he came from. Do not distort right ruling. Do not show partiality, nor take a bribe, for a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and twists the words of the righteous. Follow righteousness, righteousness alone, so that you live and inherit the land which Yahuwah your mighty Most High is giving you. Do not plant for yourself any tree as an Asherah near the slaughter place of Yahuwah your Most High that you make for yourself, and do not set up a pillar which Yahuwah your Most High hates. The Christmas tree, I've said this ample times before, and I'm just going to repeat it because we just read that passage there. The Christmas tree, most of us know, represents the male reproductive organ, but it also represents the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It creates pride, which is what that tree created. It creates the thought that you can do this your own way. You don't have to come to the house where the Most High placed His name. You don't have to do what He said, and you can still have peace. Those are lies, and you need to depart from those lies. Now let's go to Luke 14:4. No, 4:14 maybe. Must have got that wrong. What? Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. It was John 14:4. I don't know why I said Luke. Just one of my many imperfections that y'all are just going to have to deal with, I guess. So he told them right here in verse 3, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I shall come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, you might be too. And where I go, you know, and the way you know. But Thomas said to him, Master, we do not know where you are going, and how are we able to know the way? Was Messiah lying? when he said, where I go, you know, and where I'm going, you know how the way I'm going, you know the way. He wasn't lying. He was telling them that in the house, coming and doing these festivals is what it's all about. So the Most High just wants you to come here and dwell with him in your midst, and you in his midst. He wants to celebrate with you. He wants to party down, baby, the right way with you. But if you don't come here, you're doing it the wrong way. There's only one way, and it's face down, all esteem.